it's time for us to get started. Can we move to the next slide? Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Google for Education Leadership and Premium Features Training Program. I am Isha Porwal, Adoption Specialist in the Google for Education team. Here's a bit about myself. I have been part of the organization for around 3 years, and I thoroughly enjoy to help the K-12s and the higher ed in adoption of various technology. Throughout my career of a decade, I've been helping the K-12s and higher ed in adoption of multiple technologies, and this is what I love to do, making learning simple and bridging the gap between the expectations of employer and employer, and helping the students to become the 21st century leaders, right? So we are really excited to see so many educators joining us today. We know that you all have an incredibly busy schedule, especially, with exams going on and planning for the new sessions and a lot of things. I know that in Maldives, Ramzan is also under the way. So a lot of things going on at your end. So we truly appreciate you dedicating the next 2 hours for this session and for your interest to participate in a training program like this. And I'm happy to see the goals coming in the chat window, wherein I see that you are so enthusiastic to learn new tools and technology to integrate in your pedagogy. I think this is a great platform, and this is great. So this particular session is packed up with a lot of valuable and exciting things, including there's going to be a comprehensive program overview to understand what this program is all about, what's in it for you, and why you should participate, or what you can expect in the program. What about the certifications? What are the milestones, rewards, and recognition? And we'll also walk through the teaching and learning cycle in general, have a general brainstorming, and we let us all keep our headspace clear, and we are all in a mood to brainstorm together and to learn from each other. And we'll also have some actionable takeaways from the session. Finally, we'll also have a group picture towards the end of the session. In case you are comfortable, you can turn on your videos later on, and we'll have a group picture as well. So I think let's straight away dive in and move towards our next slide. Yeah, so at Google, learning is central to everything that we do, right? And at Google for Education, our mission is to transform teaching and learning at scale. For this particular program, I would say our colleagues and leaders globally and regionally have, taken out time and collaborated to bring all this for you. I would say just make most out of this opportunity, and at every stage, we are there to support you. Let us take a moment to meet the Google for Education team, and who has the best of your interest at heart and works to support you to leverage the technology in education. Some of my colleagues and leaders globally have also given a session yesterday. There was a session yesterday for the leadership, school leaders, IT heads, and the point of contacts for this particular program. And some of them have actually been present yesterday also to talk about a lot of stuff and address our audience. Meet Colin Marson. He's the director, Google for Education JPAC. We have Suan, who's the head of adoption JPAC. We have Chris Hart, who is government and education strategy lead APAC. We have Hemant Bhalla, he's the senior program manager Google for Education. We have Ritu Gulati, who's the program manager Google for Education. We have Sangeet Somkumar, he is the strategic partner manager Chrome OS. We have Peter, who's the head of APG, CAPC, Education and Chrome. We have Karan, who is the customer engineer, education and Chrome enterprise. We have Ankur Sharma, he's the scaled customer engineer. Both Karan and Ankur together will also be delivering a series of IT sessions. We have Sonia Agarwal, she's the community manager, Google for Education. She's present with me here today. She's my colleague, and she's also going to talk to you as we move ahead in the session. And that's me, I'm the adoption specialist, Google for Education. So that's all about us, and what we want to let you know is that we are here to support you with this program. Every questions, queries that you have in mind related to the program, anything that you're learning, make most out of it. This program has been designed in such a way that you can absorb all the concepts as and when you're going through with us in this journey. So absorb all those things, try a hands-on lab experience, and always keep in mind that, okay, we are all aware about a lot of content which is floating on the internet, but how do we actually, bring it into practice? How do we adopt it? How do we have a hands-on lab experience? And how do we actually take it to the classrooms? Right? So we'll be there to support you. With that, I'll also like to introduce you to our professional development partners, the Learning Link Foundation. We have Sudha, Tejeshwar, Ashima, Rohini, and Hema with us. You'll be hearing a lot from Rohini. She's coordinating this program. So you'll keep on hearing a lot from her. And thank you for coordinating this program so well. Moving ahead, let me give a quick program overview to all of you. Some of you might be nominated by the school's box. Some of you might know a little bit already of what this program consists of. But once and for all, we want all of us to be on the same page as we begin this session series. So what is this program actually developed for? And why is it so long? And what are the different people who are, being part of this particular program? So this program brings together the key players from the school ecosystem. It can be the leadership team. It can be the IT specialist in your schools, and most importantly, you all, the educators, to explore how technology can be used inclusively to enhance the student learning with the licenses that you already have in place, right? The paid licenses which you already have in place, how you can actually leverage most out of it. We all know, right? We have so many gadgets, so many devices, so many things that we actually have with us, but are we actually making most out of it? Sometimes we are not even aware of what are some of the premium features of it. So with this program, you'll be able to explore what are the premium features of the license that you have with yourself, the Google Workspace for Education license, and how you can actually use that to integrate technology in your classrooms. So that's the overview of the program. With that, you might be wondering what exactly is there for the leadership. I just want to give an overview. I know maybe leaders are not present. Will be provided support sessions, which will be scheduled for the month of March. And then we'll be taking it forward. They'll have a time period of April and May to give the examinations upon completion of mock test. And we'll speak about this in detail as we proceed in the session. But the good thing is you be aware about this. What are the premium features? You try the hands-on lab experience. With every session, we'll have a hands-on lab experience, like 20-25 minutes at the end of each session, we all stay together like we're here. We all get comfortable with each other, and we try the hands-on lab experience of the tools that we have learned then and there, so that it's not a backlog for us. I understand when we learn, there are so many things floating on the net, we keep on learning, but we never get the time to actually implement it, right? So with this program, you will be we would expect you all to keep your school IDs handy with you, as in when there's a session that is going to happen, just keep your IDs handy with you. Try the hands-on lab experience, meet your teachers who are nominated for this training, because we alone cannot actually help you to establish that ecosystem of learning in your schools. You'll have to also come together as a group of teachers together and share that knowledge and share the use cases that, okay, this is a tool that we have learned. What are more ways in which we can leverage it in our schools, and how can we take it to the classrooms? And definitely this is something we at Google for Education learn a lot from our educators all around the world, because the best of use cases. We can just tell you how a tool works, right? But how best to use it in your classrooms. So keep on discovering that as and when we are going ahead in the session. And by working together, this program actually empowers the educators to leverage the technology effectively, ultimately benefiting the most important of all, our students' learning journey. Who is all this for? This is for the students' learning journey, right? And we'll be talking a little bit more about it as we understand how finally our end users, who are the students, are getting benefited with the program like this. So we'll discover that with our teaching and learning cycle. And I want all of you to keep, brainstorming as in when I'm speaking here, because we'll also have a small activity wherein I would like to hear from you all on how do you think, what are the strategies, tools, or activities that you think help in a student's learning journey. With that, we'll move ahead and I'll give you a quick overview of the program roadmap. This is how the program roadmap looks like. So what exactly happens is we are on, so yesterday it was a leadership session and program overview. So the leaders from the schools gathered, the IT heads gathered, the points of contact gathered, and they were addressed by our global leaders, and a leadership session was taken for them. We are today on the educators orientation session. So in the educators orientation session, of course, we are giving you all the details that you might have in your minds. Every small question that you have in your mind, we'll try to address this in this particular session. From day after tomorrow, which is 7th, we have the IT sessions beginning on. These will be like 4 sessions, entire month of April, 1 session per week for the IT team. I think we might have some IT team members also on the call today. So yeah, and the entire thing will be communicated to you over the email. Your calendars might have already been blocked. Mostly, I'm assuming. Then another important thing, we are supporting the educators. I just mentioned, right, that you'll be able to get yourself certified as a part of this particular sessions. So the certification support sessions are scheduled for March. Why it is structured in such a way? Now imagine that you are being nominated from your school to undergo the certifications. You attend the support sessions to understand, how does the exam look like, and what are the steps, or how you can prepare for it. And finally, like, you get April and May, and we know that you've got a bazillion things to do as educators. So we are giving you enough time so that you think that within this training duration, you are able to get yourself certified. So we have a certification support session. And then finally, after that, in April onwards, we'll have educators session. So 1 session per week, talking about the premium features of Google Workspace for Education. What those agenda will look like, we'll also cover that as a part of our session today. Now, finally, the teachers who will be, who will be nominated for certifications, we'll be providing them with a voucher, which is the cost, which is like a one-time, effort that Google for Education team is bringing as a part of this flagship program. And we'll be providing you these vouchers free of cost as a part of this particular program, a one-time voucher for educators who will be nominated. It is worth around $40 if you talk about the level 1 and different levels of certifications we'll talk about in depth. So please make most out of this opportunity, and if you really think that you want to get yourself certified as a part of this process, reach out to your POCs. More details we are going to share over in the email today. And finally, we'll have a showcase and felicitation session. Basically, associated with this particular program, there are certain milestones that educators will have to achieve to represent their schools. So we'll be talking about those milestones in the end, and we'll be recognizing your efforts in the showcase and felicitation session, which will be scheduled for May end. And finally, the educators who are even getting certified, we hear you, right? Sometimes it is like, you don't get the right platform. You know about a certain use case, you know about how to use a certain tool and technology, and you want to tell it to others also. You like to evangelize, but you don't have the right platform. With this program, we'll help you by providing the right platform once you get certified, so that you can communicate with the larger educator community. So that's about the program roadmap. Now I'll give you a quick statistics on who are the people we have with us on the call and who we expect throughout these sessions. So we have participants from 2 countries, India and Maldives. We have 31 cities in the program, 43 schools, 62 leaders, 48 IT heads, and 337 plus educators who have shown interest to be part of this particular program. We'll move ahead now, and I'll talk a little bit about the teaching and learning cycle, right? So keep your, keep your brainstorming thing on as we talk about the teaching and learning cycle. So this has been adopted from the National Curriculum Framework, and I really like its simplicity. And I actually feel that it's going to resonate with all of your journey as well. Because I'm able to, let's move to the next slide. I'm able to recall my days when I was tutoring the higher secondary students on social science subject. And what was a game changer was when I started to integrate tools, activities, and strategies in my teaching to ensure that students are actually learning. Just to give an example, for example, the first day I went in the class and I took a world map along with me to demonstrate, and we were to teach geography that time, to demonstrate about continents, countries, cities, so that it started to be, making learning fun and interesting for them. And they're actually able to see so many countries, cities, continents that they keep on hearing. So that's how you set the initial context. And then I, with the help of, some YouTube videos for sharing some theoretical concepts using simulations. So that was like a deep dive for them. And then finally assigning the students with assignments after every lesson and giving opportunity for students for a self-reflection. So that was a real game changer. And I think that's how different stages of a teaching and learning cycle also looks like. So I'll go through how, in general, a simple teaching and learning cycle would look like. Now, think of like in the first stage, teachers, how do you get started? When you are assigned a class, where do you get started from? So teachers think generally where my students are right now, what they know, what they don't know, and how to ensure you include those elements in your planning and design, which is basically the stage 2. So you analyze your students and then you do the planning and design for them, right? Now, you will do the planning and designing of what you want your students to learn at the end of the day. Maybe there'll be different examples that I'll tell in the next slide also later on. That talks about the stage 2. Now, what will you do in the stage 3? And this is one of the very important one. Moving into classroom practice to ensure students are actually doing, right? Many times we forget whenever we are teaching, how do we ensure every time we teach, it's something that they are able to do out of it. It's a two-way communication. It is interactive, and which is very much in line with the national education, in what the national education policy says, right? So how do we actually ensure that students progresses in their learning? And finally, with stage 4, tying up the cycle again with the assessment, feedback, reporting on how you know your students have actually got where you wanted them to be, right? So now let me give you an idea of how technology, tools, and activities can fit in the above stages. We'll move to the next slide. Awesome, great. So how do? You mostly start to use tools and techs at the second stage of planning and programming. First, you do analysis. Second, you move ahead with the planning and programming. Now, let me give you an example. Let's say that you are doing a lesson planning using Gemini and Docs in Google Workspace. And for some of you who might not be aware about it, don't worry. All these things will also be covered as a part of our sessions. But I'm just giving one example, and I'm sure you might have many other examples in which you do your planning and designing. So you do a lesson planning with Gemini and Docs, and maybe you assign some tasks or assignments to the groups in the Google Classroom. That's one way in which you do a planning and designing stage. Now, when we talk about the stage 3, maybe you can use slides wherein you assign a group of students a particular task and they all work on that slide together, and then they finally submit in the Google Classroom. Or maybe one example which I quoted from last time, you can use Google Forms to give to students in the form of quizzes or any other way in which you think will help the student to analyze themselves. And this can be like a self-reflection after the lesson being taught, right? Students are actually doing something, and after that, they're also doing a self-reflection. And then finally, in the stage 4, maybe you are using classroom analytics. You're using different tools which are present in the classroom or other ways also to evaluate a given task. One of the examples can be using a practice sets to find and resolve the misconceptions in real time during the class. So there can be multiple things in which you actually complete this teaching and learning cycle. I know it differs for every student. Your plan would differ for every group of students as well. We think it's straightforward, but it is actually really complex. With that, I would like all of you, we'll move to the next slide. And I hope you're able to resonate a bit with this teaching and learning cycle. Every teacher actually has to do this simple analysis, simple planning and implementation, a simple way in which you ensure that students are actually practicing and finally assessing. The 4 stages, right? Now, please take 2 minutes and think of some creative ideas that fit into the different stages of the cycles. If you see, last time I have focused mostly on the tools and technologies, but I'm sure it can be anything. It can be an activity that you do with your students by which you think that students are able to learn. It can be any strategy, maybe just like, having a quiz at the end of the lesson to ensure that students are actually learning, a self-reflection thing. Or maybe using technology, applications and features to make sure your students are learning. I want all of you to take 2 minutes of time and think of the different stages. After 2 minutes, you can just go ahead and raise your hand, and we'll exchange some thoughts and ideas on how you think you're able to, help, level up your teaching and your students' learning. Take 2 minutes of time, and as and when anyone is ready to share their thoughts, please raise your hand and unmute yourself. We have a lot of educators on the call. Yes, Bhavesh, please go ahead.
So if I talk about activities, then it comes to my mind being in physics teacher. What I have a habit is that I always ask students to explore the resources first. So giving them hands-on resources available to them with a clear instruction, clear explicit instruction, uh, allow me to engage my students much more with the in the initial stage of the teaching. When I talk about the technology uses, so I remember my one lesson plan where I have used first I've used the resources from the lab where students are engaged in the activity with clear instructions. Post that, whatever they learn, I've created one BlueKit. BlueKit is one of the applications on which you can add the questions and students play the game at the same time they are answering and giving the question, answering the questions also. So along with that activity which students have done, I've created one look at entire quiz. The students were learning and at the same they are playing also. So that there were a connection between those two things, like technological things and what students have done in the lab. That was very enriching experience for me also as a teacher. That how we can make this learning engagement more and more interesting for learners. Thank you.
Absolutely. So, Bhaveshji, can you also let us know that you're from which school and you teach physics, right?
Yes, I teach physics, integrated sciences. In that, I teach physics, and I'm from Fountain School.
All right, great. So I think this is interesting, right? So what I've seen is that sometimes and see a point that you raised here, wherein you are saying that you did it for a lesson. My idea is that how we make it possible that for every lesson we are doing some interactive or fun learning activity. I've seen it in countries like in the Asia Pacific, wherein we feel that one or two activities is good, but it's a continuous process. We'll have to make sure that every lesson that we are teaching to our students, how we are very closely integrating technology or activities or strategies. And what you have done, I think, isn't completely in line with what the national education policy also says. So great work on that. Next, Rashmi ma'am, please go ahead. Then we'll have Hazel ma'am.
Yeah, hello, good evening. My name is Rashmi, and I'm from Universal High School, Mumbai. And even I am a physics teacher. And one of the activities what I have already used with the students is I was teaching them the chapter, the concept of force, and I took all the students to the ground, and we actually played a football on the ground, and then based on that, I explained them the effects of the force. So then we came back to the class, and then they were very like easily they could recollect, and also if I was giving any application questions, so they were able to relate to the game and solve accordingly. Similarly, I had also integrated one technology like the FET simulations for explaining the changes in the states of matter, so that it's very easy for them to like recollect, especially when they are phrasing answers. So yes, that's really very useful. Thank you.
Excellent, Rashmi ma'am. I remember the time when we were in our schools and we used to wish, wow, if something like a simulation like this can explain topics which were so difficult to imagine, how, where are these particles, what is happening. So I think now with, as we are advancing, it's a great opportunity for teachers also to help the students actually learn in a very effective manner. So thanks for sharing that. Hazel ma'am, next is you, and then we have Shifina ma'am.
Hello, Isha ma'am, and everybody else on this platform here. Good evening. My name is Hazel, and I'm from Fountainhead School, Surat. So it was very interesting that you posed this question to us. So the thing is, we've in language and literature, people think like generally what is it, just analysis or writing. So in order to amp up the teaching, what we did in the unit that just went by, we had the students debate with Bard and Bing Chat and Chat GPT as well. So we wanted them to come to the debatable question for the unit, and then so we had divided them into groups. So thereby we had an activity plus we used technology in order to amp up the teaching of our students, and the students really enjoyed that, and and then they had their one-on-one debates. So thereby giving them an advanced approach of not just researching of from Google, which may or may not have reliable resources. So yeah, that was it. And apart from that, we've used strategies for them to formulate their responses generally in writing as well.
Great. Hazel ma'am, I think this is very important that as we are working with AI, and if we have, a teacher's responsibility to make sure that students are really approaching it in the right direction and still keeping it fun. So thanks for sharing that. And it's an interesting idea. Next, we have Shafina ma'am. And I think we'll spend some 5 minutes. We'll take few more teachers to, share this learning, because I want all of you to think that what's in it for you and why you should even participate in the program like this. And we want to hear from you that what you're looking forward as a part of this training. So yes, Shafina ma'am, please.
Hello everyone, I'm Shifina from Maldives. Actually, I teach computer science So it is very difficult sometimes to assess the students. So what I do mostly is I'll give them, share a Google sheet with them, and I'll tell them one topic, and I'll tell them to frame questions related to the topic, and post it and poke another student in the class itself. So the other student has to find out the answer and tell to the person who asked the question. So in turn they will learn also, they will research about the topic also, and if the student cannot answer, the person who raised the question will get 1 point. It will just like just like a competition. Anyone can ask any question to anyone inside the class. So in turn everyone will learn, and it's using technology also, it's using Google tools also, and it's they will in turn research more about the topic too.
Excellent, ma'am. I think the best way a student or anybody from us, we are all students at one or the other point, and life is learning. So I think we all learn when we are given an opportunity to research about it and build our own understanding about a topic. So giving that design thinking routine to students, I think that's an excellent idea, and definitely one of the approaches which is very much aligned with the National Education Policy. Next, we'll have Sarika ma'am and Shilpi ma'am. I know you all have got some great things to share. Please use the chat window, because we are just having a look at the things that you're sharing in the chat window as well. Sarika ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. As far as activities are concerned, being a science teacher, I believe in simulations and letting the children do the activities on their own. When we talked about atmospheric pressure in the class, I took the students outside and gave them some bottles to experiment with, that how atmospheric pressure affects. And besides that, OLabs is there, PHET simulations are there, which I often use. And technology, as far as technology is concerned, I use lots of Google Slides for the collaborative activities, which I usually use in the class, to write down all the rules which they have to follow while doing the collaborative activity, sitting in a group or a pair, so that the children don't have to ask me again and again, ma'am, what I need to do. And moreover, the strategies we use, those are active learning strategies, and I basically use more of jigsaw, so that every child is able to teach in their group with the help of that jigsaw. Thank you, ma'am.
I think, Sarika ma'am, this is also great, and one approach wherein if teachers once and for all curate everything in a slide, it's always easy for you not attentive, but whenever they'll read those things, it will be good for them. So it's a great idea. Next, Shilpi ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Actually, I agree with Shifina Miss. So even we also in ABM, we also do the same research-based learning activities. So here we tell the children to research at home and come and share their learnings with us in school. So it is called as a flipped classroom activity that we do in ABM. Also, we share a Padlet link with the parents, so where they can click the picture of the child performing the activities and share their pictures on the link, so that all the children in the class can see what they have done at home. So this is how we use technology in school every day.
It's an excellent thing that you're doing, ma'am. And I'm so happy that all of you are also sharing your thoughts in the chat window. And we are having a look. And right now, I know in this call, it's not possible for all of us to actually interact. But please feel free to share it here. And what I want all of you to acknowledge, and I want you all to agree and maybe promise, as we go ahead in this training series, I request you all to come up with more use cases that you're talking about, and actually see how those premium features that you actually have with all of you, you're able to use them. And maybe if time permits, in every session we'll try to do this activity wherein you learn a topic, and towards the end, please share your learning of what your understanding is related to that particular topic, and how do you think you'll be using it in the classroom. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing great ideas. I know your hands are raised, and we, according to the time, we'll have to go ahead. Please feel free to share it in the chat window. We'll have to move ahead now. Going to the next slide. And a round of applause for everyone, all of you who are present here. Amazing ideas that you have shared. So thanks for that. Great. All right, great. Now with that, I would like to invite my colleague Sonia Mehra Agrawal, who's the Community Manager, Google for Education, to talk about the thing that we have been talking about since the beginning, about the certification journey, how this community at the large looks like, and some of the milestones that you all have to achieve as a part of these sessions, which is the lesson library contribution. Over to you, Sonia.
Thank you. Thanks, Isha. And a very good afternoon to our fellow educators from India and from Maldives. I think it's a pleasure to be around all of you today in the chat, because I was listening to some of the answers that you were sharing and what you were writing in the group, in the chat space today. And I'm quite sure that we're going to have very, very engaging sessions moving forward. So thank you for that, and thank you for sharing your wonderful experiences with us. A quick introduction I'll say about myself is that I've been in education sector for about 15 years now. I started my journey as a teacher, moved on to becoming a teacher trainer and content development, both in private sector as well as government space, and then joined Google for Education about 3 years ago in the role of adoption. And now I'm here as a community manager. So I've been with the team for about 3 years now, and have been learning every single time I interact with any of the educators that we come through. I would always say that the community is at the heart of whatever we do, because there's a lot of support system we create within the Google for Education community that we have of educators. And when I speak about community, I think it is very, very important that I mention that we are a community of 8,500 plus Google champions across the globe. Who are champions? How do you become a champion? All of that I will share in a few minutes. And in India itself, we have 150 champions. So we are 150 champions strong. And from Maldives, we have 18 plus champions. And I hope by the end of the series, we will have many more names added into this list from this group as well. So if you are a champion, and if you're here today, why don't you share like a heart from the emoji section? Let's see how many do we have. I think I have an idea, but still, I would like to see how many champions do we have today. Well, that is a lot. Okay, I was expecting less, but thank you so much for sharing this. Oh, wow. We have tons and tons of champions, it seems. Moving on to the next slide, please. Thank you. Like I said, we will start with discussion on who the champions are and what is this amazing Google for Education community? What do we look like? What do we do? Moving on to the next slide, please. We will start our discussion with what kind of certifications do we have? Because this is a very, very important part of your journey, the 2 months, 3 months long journey that you're going to take in the program and attend various sessions on premium features. And like Isha had mentioned, that getting certified and nominating yourself for different levels of certification is a part of that process. So we have a group of these certifications listed here, which is you start with becoming a Google certified educator with a level 1 and a level 2 exam. And once you're done that and you move on to any of the 3 mentioned below, which is certified trainer, certified innovator, or a certified coach, you become a part of Google champions community that I was talking about. So, and you know what I'll do? I will also in between keep adding tons of links for all of you to go through while we're in this session to let you know what these certifications are and why are these certifications important, and some top of the mind things that I can think of. What happens in level 1? Of course, I'm sure everyone understands, you move from one level of assessment to the next level, and of course in terms of difficulties, in terms of usage, testing of use of those tools in your classroom. I feel that when you become a Google certified educator and you become a part of that program, it offers you a structured learning path to develop understanding of how to best use Google tools in your classroom, right? And it I feel like as an educator, it makes you more confident of knowing that, okay, now I'm well versed and I want to use these in my classroom and I want to play around with it while I'm designing my lessons. Of course, you earn a badge, which you can show off to your colleagues. But other than that, a badge to demonstrate your commitment to professional development journey and an expertise in technology integration. And I think, again, a very important part is you become a part of a very large, like-minded professional community who can share ideas, who talk about best practices, who support each other, and how they support each other. We're going to talk about that in the ongoing slides. Um, and with this, we'll move on to the next slide, please. Thank you. As a part of this program, we do have a certification roadmap built in, which starts from March and moves on till May, which starts with something as simple as registering yourself for certification. Now, when I said that, you can be a Google certified level 1, hands up for people who are a level 1, people who've cleared level 1 certification. All right, we have a couple of them. Excellent. So in case you're a certified educator already of level 1, so congratulations on that. In case it is expiring now, it's a 3-year validity. If it's expiring, do look at your certifications and then nominate yourself. And if you're already a certified educator, give that opportunity to your other colleagues to become a part of this cohort. And then level 2, come on, now let's see raised hands for level 2. How many of you are level 2? Show, give me a thumbs up, raise your hands, whatever you're more comfortable with. Excellent, tons and tons of you, excellent. That's amazing. I can see a big number right here. Okay, so again, if you're a level 1 and you want to move on to level 2, if you're not a level 2 certified educator, this is an excellent opportunity to nominate yourself for a level 2 exam. If you're neither of the two, which means you're neither a level 1 or a level 2, nominate yourself for an L1 program, which is Google Certified Level 1 Sessions or the Level 1 certification program, not for level 2. So you only go step by step into it. Once you've cleared level 1 is only then can you move on to level 2. And if you are already a level 1 and a level 2 and you want to move on to becoming a champion through becoming a Google certified trainer, then have yourself nominated for that session. So nominate yourself for the ones that is most applicable for you at the moment. And the registration form for these will have already been circulated, Isha? Yeah, okay. They've already been circulated. We will again share this.
Yeah.
We'll again share this in the the post email today. Post this session. Please reach out to your POC and make sure you are nominated for the right program. As some of you are already L1, L2, there's a cost attached to it. An L1 is $10 and L2 is $25. To become a GCT, you have to clear a skill assessment, which is $15. We will take care of that cost if you clear the mock test. So there are support sessions. Once you register yourself, attend those support sessions, clear the mock test, you get a complimentary voucher code from us. We help you understand how do you register for the exam. Take the exam within a week of receiving the voucher, a week to 10 days, because once you register the coupon, it's only valid for the next 7 working days. You will receive those details in your email and in your inbox. Give the exam and update the status to Rohini, because that's where, she's a very important part and pillar of the program who helps us understand, where do we stand? And in case you need additional support, you've missed a session, you want to know, where can you read more about these exams? Reach out to her. All of this information can be easily provided to you. So this is what the certification roadmap looks like. Do you have any query? I'll also talk about this, the Google Certified Innovator Academy, which has already been launched for 2024. But before that, if you have any questions, please raise your hand. I'm happy to answer before I move forward. All right, everyone is super clear. It makes my job very, very easy. Thank you so much for that. And we'll move on to the next slide, please. We have one question. Okay. Yes, please.
Ma'am, actually, I don't have any level of this certificate. Now I want to do level 1 and level 2. What
Right.
I do?
So, sir, the form, the registration form has been shared with Mahid. Reach out to Mahid and nominate yourself through your school leader, and we will receive that email. Once we have it, we will add you to the support session for level 1. That's where you start from. And I will just go on to these details again. And, then you become a part of this cohort. Absolutely. For the certifications that I'm talking about, right? For the level 1 and level 2 both, please make sure you register your names by 7th of March. Today is 5th of March, so you effectively have 2 days before we close that form, for more registration. So please express your interest by 7th of March by reaching out to your POC, which is the either the head of the school or the point of contact who nominated you for this program. In case of Maldives, teachers from Maldives, you can reach out to Mahid, you can reach out to your principal, and they can then share those details with Mahid. So, that can also be worked out. Yes, sir. I see another query.
If I complete that level 1 and 2 before that, can I play this program?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Okay, good question, sir. Thank you. Let me clarify this for everyone. Whether or not you nominate yourself for a level 1 and a level 2 or a GCT or an innovators, you are still very much a part of this learning series. You're a part of this training session that's been designed for you. There are 5 sessions that have been planned for you. You will get to attend those. We will add those in your calendar. Rohini will be adding invites to those in your calendar. So when you look at it, you'll know you will also be receiving emails on the next steps, on the things to read about, assignments to work on, just general information about the session. So whether or not you become a part of the certifications, you're still very much a part of the program. So I hope that answers your query. Yes, ma'am. Fatima, Anya. Yes, ma'am.
Actually, I did this Google certificate level 1 and 2 a couple of years ago, maybe 2 years ago. So still will it be valid, or should I need to do it again?
Ma'am, if you can reach out to us with your exact date, it's 3 years from the point of registration, from the point you've cleared it, but reach out to Mahid in case it's been more than that, and you can register for your exam then. Yeah. All right. So for the support session, when are they scheduled? For both level 1 and level 2, the support sessions have been scheduled for 13th March 2024, which means once you've registered to be a part of this certification program, you will get to attend a support session on this date to answer queries. How do you, navigate through the exam, some FAQs that you might have, all of that would be answered here. Once the support session is done, we share a mock test with you by 29th of March. So you have enough time to self-study, and you have enough time to go through maybe more queries that you may have, and feel free to reach out to us with any other query that you may have. For the certifications, and if you clear the mock test, of course, you receive a voucher email with a voucher code, which will be valid for you to take the exam. And once you do that, you have to take the exam by 15th of April for level 1, and by 20th of April 2024 for level 2, right? Then share the results with us by 6th of May 2024 for both level 1 and level 2. We will be sharing all these timelines with you over emails as well. This is just to go through it together as a group, but please know anything and everything that we're talking about will be shared with you over email as well. So you will have all of this information with you. Yes, I see a raised hand.
Thank you, ma'am. Actually, our school has some teachers did not complete this level 1. Is it possible to take a chance to them to complete this level 1 certificate?
Yes, sir. So what we'll do is, sir, in the email itself, we will be sharing the number of educators who can be nominated for each of the cohort in the first round. And that is the only round that we're having for now. So make a list of those many numbers. Isha, are we having 10 people nominated for each school? Or?
It is 25 people per level. So
Okay,
it's a good
excellent.
opportunity. Yeah. So for example, for level 1, if your school teachers who are not a part of this program still wants to give get themselves certified, so we can help up to 25 educators for per level 1, level 2, or GCT. So 25 people from each of the levels can be nominated. They all go through the support session, they go through the mock test. After that, we'll provide them the vouchers.
So yes, to answer your query, yes, you can nominate teachers who are not a part of this series. I see 2 more raised query. Please go ahead and ask your question. In case we miss out on asking you, please put your question in the chat and one of us will answer that for you. We'll just open the queue. We'll see who's in the queue first. Shikha Tomar. Yes, ma'am, please.
Good evening, ma'am. Shika this side from American and Global School. Ma'am, I want to ask, as a POC, today I have registered L1 L1 certificate. For the L1 certificates, I have registered 7 teachers. Then one of my teacher, Miss Poonam, she is already certified with level 1. So when I was registering her to L2, so it was asking for all the 10 teachers. Like, I was not able to register her for L2.
Got it. So you're trying to register one teacher at a time is what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you, of course, we will definitely look into that. Maybe we'll change the form settings. But again, another thought here would be, ma'am, do you want to wait till the morning of 7th and then register a couple of names together? It'll be easier that way.
Yes, ma'am. One more query
Once the
I
form
had.
closes for your school, it'll be closed. Right, so it'll be better to nominate all of them in one go. But what we'll do is we'll change the setting. So in case you just want to nominate 5 people, 7 people, or maybe 18 people, the form will not stop you from submitting those names. We can look at that, ma'am. That is not an issue.
Yeah, ma'am. One more query. One of my teacher, Mrs. Smriti, she is also, but she's not the part of this program. She is not a nominated teacher, but she want to certified for level 2. Level 1, she has already certified.
So you can nominate her, ma'am. You can nominate her.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shika, ma'am. Moving on to Bhavesh, sir.
I just wanted to ask, I've not done any of the level, I'm still will be doing certified education level 1. So
yes, you will start with level 1.
I have to email to my school leaders, right?
Yes, just reach out to your POC, whom we've been in touch with, who's nominated you for this program, and they'll be able to add your name to that list.
And then once I'll be added to the registration,
we will reach out to you, sir. We will reach out to you. These sessions will be added to your calendars. You will receive follow-up emails. All of that will be done from our end.
So once you reach out to me, does that give the confirmation that I'll be giving the final certification exam for level 1?
No, that is a confirmation that you're a part of the support session group. Once you attend the support session, there will be a mock test. You have to clear that mock test to receive a voucher from us.
And then I'll be eligible for certified educator level 1.
You will be eligible to take the exam through the global site. You can go there, register your coupon, the voucher that you'll get, and then attempt the exam. Once you attempt it and hopefully clear it, you become a certified level 1 teacher.
Can we do level 1 and level 2 at a time?
That is not possible. You'll have to do one at a time. You'll have to start with level 1, not even one at a time. You'll have to start with level 1 and then move to level 2.
Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure. We have 2 more questions and after that I'll move forward. You can continue posting your queries. We'll answer them or I can take them towards the end also. We have Miss Shafina Begum.
Ma'am, I have 2 questions. First question is, you told me that if certificate if I have completed, for example, level 1 before 3 years, if it is expired, then again the teacher has to write level 1.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Same exam and same patterns?
No, so the pattern, of course, has evolved over the last 3 years.
Okay, then the second
Questions have
question is,
changed, over the last 3 years.
so then even if it is within one day, also they can write, isn't it? So for example, if my certificate date shows tomorrow, I can write level 2 today. Is there any validity like that?
No, so you're saying that your
Actually, my
expires
certificate
today?
is getting expired on July 9th. So I can register for level 2, isn't it?
I think you can, ma'am. I don't see a problem there, but I can still cross check and let you know. I don't
Because
see
in our school, most of the teachers, all of the teachers at that time had completed level 1. All of them, most of them had completed. So most of their certificates will be expiring by July or June. So that
I
is
will
the main
check this. It should not be an issue. Usually it is not an issue, but sometimes when you register with the same ID, it might pick up, your previous certificate. But let me cross check this and come back to you.
And the next question is in one school, ma'am told us 25 students, you can teachers, you can give support, right? So it can be mixed up, level 1 or level 2, any order.
25 for level 1, 25 for level 2.
So it's like 50. And if anyone else is there who has completed level 2, they can register for certified coach also.
Certified trainer.
Okay, thank you.
We're running a support session for certified trainer, not yet for the coach, but certified.
Okay, so the other thing, ma'am will
we'll check
tell
and
us.
we'll let you know for sure, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you. And the last question from Mr. Sai Krishna Behra. Hi, Sai, you're not audible. Okay, in the interest of time, I will move ahead in case, Sai, you want to type your question. Oh, yeah, please go ahead. Okay. Yes, so there is a support session for certified trainer, which is again on the 7th of March. For that, you have to nominate yourself through your POC. The support session will be conducted on 14th of March, 2024. After that, you get about 15 days to, go through the material that you need to prepare for the mock test. Clear the mock test by 29th of March. You get a voucher to attempt the skill assessment, the exam, which is a prerequisite to becoming a Google certified trainer. Clear that, share the result with us, and then start filling in your application. When?